Hi, it's Katie Farner, your director. Our live team training is going to be starting in just a few minutes. So I'm just going to hang out here until we officially start. We're starting at 9 p.m., so we've still got about 6 minutes or so. So I'm going to turn off the camera until we're ready to go. Hey everyone, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. We're going to start at right about 9 p.m. Hey everybody, thanks for who's joined us so far. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes.
Just gonna wait another minute or two. I'm getting a lot of messages from people with questions of how to watch this. This is only like the second or third time we've done a live Google Hangout for our training, so there's still some people getting the hang of how it works. So just maybe another minute or two. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera on. Hi. And I'm gonna ask you guys to bear with me tonight. I don't know what's going on, but my allergies, I guess, are horrible. So my throat is like so raw right now. So I'm gonna be taking a glass of water, a sip of water, probably a lot. Um, so hang with me on that one. So for those of you who are on our video right now, are following along and watching, maybe just copy and paste the link to just this screen, just our home screen of our YouTube channel, and somebody post that on our team Facebook page. I'm getting a lot of questions. A lot of people are not understanding how to get here. So maybe somebody who's on this call who has access to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, just copy and paste the link right there at the top of your browser. That's just taking you to our homepage, and just copy and paste that on our team Facebook page, because some people are not understanding that they really don't need a link or anything. All they got to do is just come here. So I am going to be sharing with you guys tonight some of the training that I got this weekend at Mastermind. Mastermind was awesome. This was my first year going. I have heard of it last year. I heard about it like when some of our Sensi sisters were there, and I was so bummed out that I missed out on being there, especially when I found out it was here in Orlando in my hometown. So I made it a point to be there this weekend. No matter what, I was going to be there because I heard amazing things about it. And I've always heard that if you show up, you go up, and how important it is that we're always learning and pursuing education. So if I want to grow my business, I need to pursue education. So I went, and I'm so glad that I went.
It only cost me $100. I got a better deal though because somebody needed to sell their ticket last minute. Normally the tickets are going to be about $179 if you get the group rate that's offered right now. So totally worth the investment. Even if I would have had to spend $179 to go, it was definitely worth the investment. And of course, it's a business write-off. And so many of our team members are here in Orlando. Next year, it's going to be held in November, and that'll be the last year they're doing it in Orlando. The year after that, it's going to be somewhere else in the country. So of course, much more expense involved in going. So any of you local superstars, I would really encourage you to go. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing training experience. I'm honestly kind of lost for words. I'm still kind of like decompressing and like letting it all soak in. It was really great. So I've got a notebook full. I mean, like so full, it's like falling apart, literally. I took so many notes. It was fabulous. So what I did was, this mastermind training is done by people who are multi-millionaires in network marketing. Sarah Robbins, Wes Linden, tons of people who are just out there making it rock, like making tons of money at network marketing. So each of them gave a lot of training and information, of course. And so what I have done is I have taken their information and kind of condensed it into training for the majority of consultants. So I wanted it to be something that kind of at any level you would benefit from this, whether you are more on the casual side or you want a serious business. It's kind of like, hopefully will all encompass. I didn't want to put together a training that was for only people who wanted to grow a huge business. And I also didn't want to put together a training for people who only were selling it for a hobby. So I've tried to condense the information and make it into a well-rounded training that a lot of people are going to be able to benefit from. So hopefully I did that. So I took the information that I learned this weekend and condensed it into this training. And we're going to go over 5 core areas. And the first one is understanding the opportunity at hand. The second is realistic expectations and getting the right mindset. The next one is determining your vision, committing to best practices, and then last will be hold steady. So those are the different areas that we're going to be covering on tonight's call. And a lot of the time I'm literally just going to be reading from here, so I apologize if it's weird looking at me reading, but I want to make sure that I do what I've learned justice, and so my notes are obviously the best way to do that. So first, let's talk about the opportunity at hand. I was first introduced to the understanding. I first had an understanding of what this business actually was and what could come from my business when I read the book Beach Money. And I definitely recommend anybody in network marketing to read Beach Money. It's a great book and it really opens your eyes to the potential of this business. So learning what I learned here was just nothing but even further confirmation about the potential that we have in this business. A lot of people think that network marketing is a scam, a pyramid scheme, a get-rich-quick scheme. There's a lot of negative connotation out there about network marketing, when in reality, there really is no debate anymore. 20, 30 years ago, maybe there could have been a debate. But now, network marketing, people in network marketing as a whole, the industry, has produced billions and billions and billions of dollars of income every single year. Just Sensi Family alone. In 2013, over $1 billion was paid out in commissions. And that's just in 2013. 1 year, over $1 billion was paid out to consultants in commission just as part of the Sensi family. So there really is no debate. This is a legitimate business. It's a very reasonable way to sell product to a consumer and make an income. So let's just understand the potential that we have in this business. We are not given a cap. We are not given a ceiling. We are not told this is as high as your education will let you get paid. That doesn't exist. You can get paid as much as you decide you're going to be paid. That's something that I think a lot of people in network marketing don't understand. You have to realize that you are the only one who's going to determine your pay. So we have something huge there. And we also have the opportunity to give back greater than anybody else because of what we're doing. And we have the opportunity to have tons of fun with what we're doing. So we have a really unique and highly, highly, highly skilled, not skilled, but highly opportunistic. It's just, we have no limit. So I want to make sure that everybody on our team understands the opportunity that you have at your fingertips. And you're the only one who's going to decide what you do with this opportunity. So next, let's talk about realistic expectations. A lot of people get into network marketing, the Sensi family, with a super unrealistic goal of what really is going to happen. People are very unrealistic and expect way more within their first year, what they think they should be earning, how fast they think they should grow, and they dramatically underestimate the time that they think they should stick with the company. So I want to talk about our mindset and really making sure that we have realistic expectations about what does it mean to be in network marketing? What does it mean to be a Sensi fragrance or Velada consultant? Say that you're looking to build a full-time income. The average person to say make $5,000 a month. So that would be $60,000 a year. That would be probably an average full-time job income. The average person is going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to reach that full-time income potential of the $5,000 a month. This business is a journey. It's a journey. This is not a sprint. And that's something that a lot of people don't get. A lot of people don't have the realistic expectation. Oops, there goes my testers. Right there. If you could see my office right now, you would be like, that girl needs some organization. I have not put anything away from my last home party, my last event. There's just little stuff everywhere. It's horrible. So I just kicked over my testers. But anyway, this business is about a journey. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And we need to make sure that we understand that and we don't have unrealistic expectations, because unrealistic expectations are going to turn into major, major, major defeat and just depression and just saying, I quit. So have a realistic expectation. Wes Linden talked about this a lot. He said, it's a journey. People have to grow to trust us. People don't say no. They actually just say something other than yes. And the decision does not have to be that day. In network marketing, we think we should ask somebody something one time and they should say yes. And we should never have to ask them again. If we ask them more than the one time, then we're pushy. We should just ask them once. But think about this. Do you think the first time that Walmart or Target had their first TV commercial, 24 hours later, all the executives sit down and have a meeting and say, well, our sales didn't dramatically increase. Our stores weren't filled with customers. So you know what? I guess we should shut down. We ran our commercial and it didn't work. Didn't work. That's how ridiculous it is when we think we should ask somebody something once, or we should share that we sell Sensi once. The average person needs to see something at least 7 times before taking an action. So remember that when you're growing your business. This is a courting process, not marriage within the first day. Think of it that way. You are courting your customers. You are building a relationship where they're going to trust you and see you as a professional. It's not marriage right away. So think about every day making a continuous step to move your business forward. It's a continuous step of reconnecting, 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 because timing is going to be everything. Timing is going to be everything. So also with talking about realistic expectations and getting your mindset in the right place, I want to talk about fear. Let me go to this page first. So, um, oh, one thing I wanted to add, I forgot about this note here. When it comes to the time frame and the timing and remembering that it's a journey, one of the ladies compared growing your business to childbirth. So a lot of people think, oh, 5 to 7 years of work to be making maybe 6 figures a year, that's a long time. That's way too long. Da 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 da. They'd rather work for 20 years, 25 years, 40 years at the same mediocre pace, and they think that that is better than working hard for maybe 5 to 7 years. So this lady compared growing your business slow and steady like childbirth. Everybody says who's had a child, which I haven't, but everybody I know who has a child says you carry the baby for 9 months. It's uncomfortable for most people. And then, of course, you have labor, which is incredibly painful. But everybody says as soon as that baby comes out, all the pain, all the discomfort, all the negative is instantly gone when you look at that baby. Everyone in network marketing who has been successful, anybody at the top of our compensation plan, will tell you the same exact thing about the growth of their business. That this may be 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, however many years it's taken them to get to this point of incredible success. They're going to tell you it's like they don't even think about it. It doesn't matter. All they can see is the incredible place that they are at right now, the financial freedom they have, the time they have with their loved ones. So think about it in that sense. That was a huge light bulb to me. Like, oh my gosh, it's so true. It makes so much sense. So, okay, now let's go back to talking about fear. Fear is something that we need to have a realistic mindset about. Fear is actually a good thing. Fear is actually necessary in your business. Fear is a good thing because it's an indication that you are on the path to a breakthrough. If you are not experiencing fear in your business or discomfort, then that means that you're playing it far, far, far too safe. So fear is actually a good thing. I love that. I had never thought about that in that way, but it's so true. And no matter how great our fear is of maybe making that phone call, doing that presentation, asking someone to join, no matter how great our fear of that insignificant thing might be, our fear of not succeeding needs to be far greater. If our fear of not living this life that we are setting out to live is not greater than our fear of making that phone call, we're not going to make the phone call. So, is your fear of not succeeding, maybe not being able to stay home with your children, maybe not being able to let your husband quit working 2 jobs, if your fear of not achieving that is not greater than your fear of making a phone call or asking someone a question, then you really need to take a look at that, because your fear of not succeeding needs to be greater than your fear of making that call or doing that task that you don't want to make. So another thing, talking about fear, we have fears of so many different things. A lot of times we don't even realize we're afraid of failure, common. We're afraid of success. This is something that a lot of people are like, no way, I'm not afraid to be successful. But he had a great point. We're actually negatively programmed to see success as a bad thing. Think about all the movies that are, movies that you see. The bad guy is like almost always rich. I mean, I can't think of one movie where the rich guy is the good guy. The good guy is always the poor person. We are programmed to have a fear of success, because success and money almost always equals like evil or bad or greedy. So think about that. You might not even realize that you do have a fear of success. So think about what is influencing you. What is influencing you? What is influencing your thoughts? What are you fearful of in your business? And take all of that take all of that captive and be responsible for those thoughts. Something else that he talked about regarding like fear and your thought pattern is, in this negative programming, is Who's programming you? What is it that you're thinking? Something like, my kids are too important for me. That's why I could never be a top earner. What a negative thought is that? Why? Because you're doing well in your business, does it mean that your children are not a priority? So does that mean that the people at the top of the compensation plan, their children are not priorities to them? I would never. In fact, the people at the top of the compensation plan have more time with their children than any of us in the lower ranks of the compensation plan. So just something to think about. Think about your programming. What are you thinking? And when it comes to a leader, a lot of people think, oh, I'm way too afraid to be a leader. I can't do what Katie does, or I can't do what Danette does. They're so brave, or they're so bold. There is no such thing as a fearless leader. I'm not a fearless leader. There's no such thing as a fearless leader. There's only leaders who faced fear and have conquered it. It's a consistent act of facing a fear, conquering it, facing a fear, and conquering it. It's consistently doing that. We actually, well, not we, because I wouldn't say I'm so successful, but the people who are successful, the people who are at the top of our compensation plan, they're successful because of the fear. Like we talked about, fear is actually a necessity. So, and the only thing that's actually going to kill your fear is action. Action is the only thing that will squash your fear, because consistently performing this action that you're afraid to do is the only thing that's going to kill that fear. So if you want to grow, you got to have these realistic expectations. And the last thing in the realistic expectations little category here is, I love this. And Sarah Robbins said this, and she said that we need to be driven by our dreams, not our disappointments. Huge. The journey to where we want to be in our compensation plan, with our goals, whatever, it's a mountain ascent. And along our ascent up the mountain, there's little divots. And sometimes we can be so driven by our disappointments and think, oh, well, I'm not good at this. I'm stuck. Here I am again in this rut. So you're going to choose whether you're driven by your dreams or your disappointments. So now let's talk about determining your vision. There's some great information that they gave us on this. So this is important for us and for our recruits to be able to determine our vision. So it's important to ask yourself, whatever your goal is that you're wanting to achieve, are you okay with not achieving that? The 4 words, "are you okay with," are very powerful, and we need to use that in recruiting and also with our own mindset. So again, that's, are you okay with? It's going to increase the distance between where you are right now and where you want to be. You're going to clearly see how wide that gap is when you ask yourself that. So, for example, are you okay with leaving for work at 7 a.m., coming home at 7 p.m., and seeing your kids for maybe 30 minutes before they go to bed? Or are you okay with working 9 to 5, 7 to 7, whatever it is, for 45 years, just like your parents did? Warehousing your kids in daycare so you can work. Are you okay with? These are examples of what you need to be asking yourself. Are you okay with this? Are you okay with living the rest of your life this way? There's so much power in those words. So we need to use those with recruiting, and we need to use those with ourselves to keep ourselves in check, working towards our goal. So I have talked many times about a vision board, a dream board, a vision board, and I haven't gotten a lot of response on it. And so, I just thought, oh, whatever. But this weekend, we learned that vision boards just really don't work. People just don't sit down and do them. Our brains actually don't work that way. They just don't. There's a lot of science behind it, but I don't want to waste too much time going into all of that. Just trust me when I say that they taught us that vision boards don't work, because the way you're making your brain think that way doesn't work as well regarding creating your vision or your goal. So for Our team, I'm challenging everybody to do this. I'm doing it myself. I've got 14, but I'll get into that in a second. So I'm going to challenge everybody to do this. You want to take a piece of paper and number it 1 through 25. Again, number 1 through 25. And you're going to be coming up with 25 different things. This list is going to be 25 things that I'm going to do after I become a $5,000 a month earner. 25 things that I am going to do after I become a $5,000 a month earner. This is how you're going to create your vision. So, for example, some of mine are build a new house, get a new truck for Matt, donate money and work with local animal shelter. I have a big heart for animals. I don't know. I love dogs and cats and hire a maid, hire an assistant. Those are types of things I have on my list. I have plenty still to do. But once I've completed my list, I'm going to share it with you. It's a way that we can all vulnerably connect, and you can really see someone and get to know someone by what is on their list of 25 things. So once you have this list created, I want you to post it on your refrigerator. I want you to put it on your vanity mirror in your bathroom or your bedroom. Post this list everywhere that you can see it. And this is your vision. This is what you're working towards. Whether you've got charitable things on here, personal things on here, family things on here, vacations. I have the thing on here, travel to Australia. There's many reasons I want to go to Australia. Not just the fact that we're selling in Australia and Australia's booming, but also I think it'd be a cool place to visit. So anyway, travel, whatever things that come to mind that you think of that you want to do after you become a $5,000 a month earner. So 25 things that I am going to do after I become a $5,000 a month earner. That is going to help you create your vision much more effectively. And again, there's a lot of science behind it, why this works better than a vision board, but I don't want to waste a lot of time on that. It's just the way our brain works. This is actually going to work more efficiently. So, let's see. So once you have your vision board created, it's not about hoping and praying and dreaming. It's about making a choice. It's like myself or anybody that you can ask who's actively growing, trying to build their business. They made a decision. I made a choice that I wasn't going to take my excuses any longer. There wasn't going to be any excuses. There was just going to be action. So once you have your vision, you have to make a decision. You have to make a choice, and you have to commit. So make a decision to be relentless. Relentless. Make a decision that you're not going to get out of line. That's where a lot of people fail in this business. It's like a cafeteria line. Somebody shared with us. It's like a cafeteria line. When you get in line for the cafeteria to get your food, you have to get at the end of the line. When you start a new business, you sign up for a new business, you set a goal, you start at the end of the line. That's where everybody has to start. Everybody has the exact same journey. And there is no shortcut. You have to go all the way through the lunch line. And then you end up at the end of the line and you get your food. But a lot of people, maybe have a great big paycheck and then they think, oh, maybe I'm maxing out. And then they hear about some great new company over here. And so they get out of line. But you get out of line thinking you're going to have a better finish. But in reality, you're just starting back at the end of the lunch line again. So it's so important that you don't get out of line. Whatever you're selling right now, which clearly is Scentsy Fragrance or Velada, don't get out of line. If you get out of line, you're just going to start over. Commit and stick to what you have chosen to do and follow the line all the way through. The people who are making the most money in any network marketing are people who stayed in line and people who did not hop around from product to product to product. What's the hottest? What's the latest? What can I get? Stick with what you're doing. It's a journey. It takes time. So now let's talk about committing to best practices. So there's a lot of information in this section because, of course, everybody talked a lot about the different best practices for running your business. So one of the first things that I think is so important is about your confidence. The only way that someone is going to be confident is if they have knowledge. Knowledge builds confidence. So you have to develop your knowledge. And the only way you're going to do that is by being plugged in, by reading books about our business, by listening to our team training calls, by listening to the home office training calls, by going to spring sprint, by going to reunion. That's the only way that you're going to have confidence, is by gaining your knowledge, developing your knowledge. And confidence is what is going to attract other people to you. Nobody wants to sign up under somebody who feels like they don't have their stuff together. They look at them, they don't see them as confident, they see them as barely flopping around like a fish out of water with their business. People aren't going to want to sign up under someone like that. At least no one of great quality is going to want to sign up under someone like that. So, whatever you want to be recruiting is what you need to be putting out. That's what you're going to be attracting. So be the recruit that you want to recruit. It's as simple as that. So I love this. One of the people said this, and this was so powerful. We've heard it before in different ways, but I really like this way. And this is just a best practice of, what are you surrounding yourself with? And they said that if you surround yourself with 4 broke people, you're going to be the 5th. If you surround yourself with 3 negative Nancys, you're going to be the 4th. If you surround yourself with 3 people who are working and who are positive and who want to grow and who are motivated, you're going to be the 4th person like that. So really think about, when you're talking about committing to best practices, who are you surrounding yourself by? Who are you hanging out with? Because you're going to become just like the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So let's talk about, let's see, let's focus on contacts. So Sarah Robbins talked about, okay, Sarah Robbins had a really cute quote that I really liked. She said, "A few new contacts every day keeps new leads coming your way." It's cute, and it's true. It's absolutely, absolutely true. So we've got to be focused on expanding our circle and meeting new people. So how are you going to be doing this? What are you going to be doing? So here's some of the successful actions, that Sarah shared, that she encourages her team to do. And so to me, this was huge. Anything Sarah Robbins is saying, I'm like, what? Tell me more. Okay, so she kind of subcategorized it. List, launch, social media, and networking. So first is list. And she said, contacting people on my list or phone list, Facebook. Oh, okay. Sorry. I misread. So she said list. Obviously, you need to have a list. If you're in this business, you need to have a list of your contacts, whether they're in your phone, in your workstation, you've got them written down on paper. You need to have your list of contacts, people that are your customers, people are your potential recruits. So this is more targeted for recruiting, by the way, but she said that she just consistently every day reaches out to 1 or 2 people. And she'll say something, she'll reach out to them on Facebook, via the phone, whatever. And she'll just say, "Oh, I see you're living up in Chicago, blah, 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 blah. I've got a business that I'm building there. And I'm looking for da, 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 da. I've got a business there and I'm looking for people like you. Or I'm looking for people who want to start a side business and grow some extra income." Whatever you genuinely want to say. And plant that seed, especially for people who are not in your area. She focused a lot on just saying, "Oh, I'm building a business there." Even when she meets somebody, she meets somebody in the line, she meets somebody at a restaurant, and she just sparks up a conversation with them and asks them, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, da 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 da, blah blah blah." And she says, "Oh, you're from Atlanta? I'm building a business there." Even though she is, but even though you may not be, or I may not be, doesn't mean that we shouldn't say that. "Oh, I'm building a business there. And I'm always looking for people who want to start their own business." It's as simple as that. I love the simplicity of how she says that. I thought that was awesome. So revisit your list and offer the opportunity consistently. So then she talked about launch. She's talking about basically business opportunity things. She does really, like, I love the names of her things that she'll do. She'll do coffee and conversations or cocktails and conversations, and she'll just have a gathering at her home or she'll have a gathering at a public place and make it a cute little theme and share it with people. She even will do Google Hangouts and do an opportunity with somebody out of state. So you can have somebody who is a brand new consultant or somebody who's considering signing up with herself and a few other people come over and do a Google Hangout and share the products and the business opportunity that way. So I love that. It's so cute. Cocktails and conversations, coffee and conversations. I liked how she said that. So now she talked about social media next. So social media is huge. I completely agree. Social media is a great place for networking, meeting new people, getting involved in different groups based on your hobbies. It's a great place to share success stories. We can't share before and after pictures like she talks about, obviously, but share success stories of people in your team. You know, when you have a personal promotion, post about it, things like that. And start conversations. You know, you can even say, you can post on Facebook, I'm building a business in such and such city. Do you know anybody who lives there? You can just create a post like that and stay connected. So last, she talked about networking. Networking is something that's just consistently part of our daily routine. When I go to the store, when I go to have lunch out, my business is always somewhere in my mind. I never just put it on the shelf and let it get dusty. That's how you get complacent. Your business needs to always be a part of your mind. So when you're at lunch, you compliment your waitress on her great service and you tell her, I'm always looking for people who want to start their own business. Here's exactly how she worded it. She said, thanks for your service. I'm looking for people just like you. It's a compliment. Thanks for your excellent service. I'm looking for professionals just like you, or I'm looking for people just like you who want to start their own business. I love the way that she worded that. So it really is a simple thing. We tend to overcomplicate it, but it's just networking. That's all it is. It's just putting your name out there consistently. It's just talking to people consistently. Talking is so simple. We just have to take the fear of the outcome out of it and just say it. We can't take it personally because not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody is meant to start their own business. It's our job to share and it's their job to decide. It's not our job to decide and look at somebody and say, no, I'm not going to ask them. I don't think they'd be interested. It's our job to ask, their job to decide. It's as simple as that. I love the way she put that. So let's see. So now let's talk about Wes Linden shared something. And again, we're talking about best practices to commit to for your business. So these are some of the key tips that they give. Some of these multimillionaire network marketers shared with us. So Wes was talking about how all of our prospects, all of our potential recruits are just as busy as us. You know, they have a lot on their mind. They've got a lot going on. And it's all about their timing, not ours. So that's why you can't get discouraged if their first answer might be no the first time around. It's no for now. It's not no for forever. I love what he does. He created a no for now notebook. He has this notebook. It looked like a spiral binder. And he calls it his no for now notebook. And he has a post-it on the front of the notebook. It says no for now. It would say, like, I think it was like March of 2013 through September of 2013. It's a very small window of time. It was, if I remember correctly, I think it was like an 8-month period of time. So I might have the months wrong, but it was about an 8 or 9 month period of time. And it was a large spiral notebook. This notebook is full of his no for nows. So that giant notebook for an 8 or 9 month period of time, it was no more than that, was full, literally full of names of people that he asked about joining and told him no. That blew my mind when I saw the size of this notebook and that he asked that many people in like an 8 or 9 month period of time. I was like, wow, that's that's like amazing, amazing. So create a no for now notebook. Keep track of everybody that you ask about the business opportunity and make notations next to their name. Make a note about when you talk to them, what their response was, maybe what they have going on in their lives, in a positive way, so that when you touch back up with them, you can bring up those things. Oh yeah, the last time we chatted, you were getting ready to take a trip to Hawaii with your family, or oh, the last time we chatted, you were taking college courses. How's that going? Because you have to follow up. You don't just ask one time. There has to be follow up involved. So he says that he puts their details if they say no. And when they say no, he says, "Oh, I totally understand." He asks them every time, "Can I stay in touch? See how I'll follow up with you in a few months, see how you're getting along, and I'll catch up and we'll see how I'm getting along and we'll just stay in touch." He said not one time has he ever been told no. Because most people are polite and they're just going to say, "Oh, yeah, sure." So keep track and follow up with them in a couple months or a few months. And then he says when he calls them, then all he says is, "Hey, how's it going?" Reconnects with them maybe about some of the notes that he had about what's going on in their life, because the relationship part is very important. And then he says, "Would now be a better time for you to look at what I'm doing?" Because of course he catches up with them, sees how they're doing. They're still same old same. He's still growing, 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 doing great. And so it's the perfect time for him to say, "Would now be a better time to look at what I'm doing?" Would now be a better time to look at Scentsy fragrance for you or Velada for you. So I love that. And he said it's just a continuous process of reconnecting and that timing is everything. So when it comes to these conversations with his potential recruits that he's talking to in this No for Now notebook, he talked about how important developing a friendship, developing a bond is. And one of the fastest ways to do that, which we've talked about before on the team, is listening. So that means silence. That means asking them a question, letting them respond, getting to know them. So with this No for Now notebook, he's recruited a great amount of people. I forget how many people he said, but since he's been with his career, he gave us a number of how many people he's recruited. And when you hear the number, it sounds huge. It's like, whoa, he's recruited that many people in X amount of years. A lot of times we can get like overwhelmed because we hear almost the highlights of people. Like we might hear, "Oh, this person sponsored 30 people in the last 5 months." But when you look at the course of time that they've been with the company, not necessarily a growth spurt that they're experiencing, but the whole time they've been with the company, he said that every direct seller at the top, at the very top, making multi-million dollars, when you look at their average, they're recruiting about 2 people a month. 2 people a month is so much less scary than hearing, "Oh, Sarah Robbins has recruited about 300 people since she's been with her network marketing company." Hearing 300 people in 4 years or whatever is huge. But then when you break it down and realize she's recruiting about 2 people a month, 2 people a month is so doable. So how do you get 2 or 3 people a month? How do you do that? You have a goal of speaking with 2 people every day with a quality conversation. No one says that it needs to be about the business. It can just be a quality conversation. That's what he does. That's what Wes Linden, this multi-millionaire at 27 years old, he was a multi-millionaire at 27 years old. That's what he does. Every day, not necessarily you're going to do it every day. You have a bad day, you have something going on, but on average, every day he reaches out to about 2 people and has a friendly, quality conversation with them. How are you? How's life? What's new? How are the kids? Create Create relationships, have relationships for relationships' sake. And that is how you're going to turn into getting recruits. He said he connects with them on a human level, and then always ends the conversation with some sort of join information given. Whether he sends them a link to a DVD, or he asks for their address and mails them a DVD or a join brochure or what have you. So you don't try to recruit them the first time. You establish a relationship. You establish a friendship. You start the trust. And then you just give a little bit of information. Nice conversation, give a tool. It's as simple as that. And when you're meeting someone in person, he talked about when you're meeting somebody in person, maybe you're at the airport, maybe you're at Starbucks, whatever, make a friendly conversation, meet someone, get to know them. Nice conversation, give them your information, and ask them, do you have a card? He talked about how when you do have a business card, you feel so confident with the fact that you have that business. Like, people feel confident and good about their business card, and they want to kind of show it off. So people are always willing to give you their business card. I thought that was so interesting. I never thought about that. It's really true. People are proud of their business card, proud of what they do, and so they are happy to give you a card. So start asking people for their cards. I'm like, why have I not been doing this? It makes so much sense. And if they don't have a card, they're almost embarrassed to not have a card. So when you say, oh, can I get your card? And they say, oh, I don't have a card. And you say real quick, well, here, let me hand you my phone and plug your information in. They're going to be so thrown off by the fact that they don't have a card, and you ask them for a card and they're kind of embarrassed, that they're just going to plug their information right in your phone. He said he's never had somebody tell him, no, I'm not going to plug my information in your phone. Never once. I'm like, this is genius. I love it. So instead of me always saying, it was so nice to meet you today, when I meet somebody in line at Target, instead of me just saying, it was so nice to meet you today. Here's my card. Let me know if I can ever help you. Instead of doing that, I'm going to say, it was so nice to meet you today. Do you have a card? And then go from there. I love it. So smart. So he said, just plant seeds and allow time for them to grow. It's as simple as that. It's relationships, relationships, relationships. You're going to hear it over and over again. So I love that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about celebrating small wins. And right now we're talking about committing to best practices. So these are some of the best practices that they shared with us. Page 12 and 13. So let's see. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Oh, it's Hilda. Hilda. Okay, so this husband and wife, they're so cute. And Hilda talked with us about celebrating small wins. And that's small, consistent wins. Small, consistent wins are what get you to the big deal, the big end result that you're looking for. Whether it's, a 6-figure annual income, $60,000 a year, whatever you're looking for. It's small, consistent wins that are going to get you there. So she talks about how there's two kinds of people. There's people who let themselves be buried. Something happens. It's inevitable. Something is going to happen. A challenge is going to come. An obstacle is going to come. There's people who a challenge comes and it's like a pile of dirt on their grave. They just let them be buried. Then there's people who use it as a stepping stone to get further. People who are going to overcome their obstacles. You're going to decide what type of person you are. So she talked about small win recipes and how deadlines are really important with a small win recipe. So when you are working towards something, it's important to have deadlines. We always say a goal is a dream with a deadline. So deadlines are super important. We have lots of annual events with Cincy. We have Spring Sprint, we have Convention, we have the incentive trip. You can use each of those 3 annual events as a deadline to achieve a certain goal in your business that you want to achieve. So think about that. What's our next event that we have? Spring Sprint in the beginning of the year, January or February. Use that as a deadline to meet your next goal that you want to meet. So When we're talking about small wins, I love what she said, and it's just the simplicity of breaking something down, and instead of seeing big picture, seeing small picture. So set a goal of there's 52 weeks in a year, so set a goal of I want 52 small wins this year. 52 small wins. So one small win every single week. That's easy, right? So a small win is something like celebrating the fact that you planted a seed with a person, celebrating the fact that you did a party and got a bunch of new customers, celebrating every little win, not just the big ones. She talked about how we never know who we're talking to. You never ever know who you're speaking with, that they might be your next team member. They might be your next huge team member. So looks can be deceiving, body language can be deceiving. We just like to assume. We love to assume. We just do it. It's natural. But we got to get out of that habit of assuming that this person doesn't look or fit the mold. You never know who you're talking to and who your next rock star team member will be. So it really matters how you treat people. It really, really matters. Let's see, what else does she have here? Oh, she talks about how your attitude matters. And we need to use power words. Power words are going to affect our results. We need to think of ourselves as powerful. Do you think of yourself as this weak little individual who can't do anything, who can't accomplish anything? Or do you think of yourself as a powerful woman who's driven and motivated and going to make her dreams a reality? Or man, there might be some men on, listening to this call. So your attitude with people really matters. Your attitude with people, what are you putting out there about yourself? What are you presenting about yourself? So talking about small wins still, she talks about how every person has ambition. Every person. Every person wants accolades. Every person wants honor. Every person wants praise. Every person wants to feel confident and good and like they're, a blessing to someone else. Everyone wants that. Everyone has that ambition for that. And there's going to be a journey to achieve that. Ambition. Ambition is what's on the inside. So the journey to achieve that ambition is developing the skills on the outside to make it a reality. I love how she said that. The ambition is on the inside, and our goal is to ensure that we develop the skills on the outside that will bring the ambition out. I loved that. I've never heard that before. So skill development is so important. As we're talking about all of the successful actions and all of the best practices that we need. We talked earlier about how you need to pursue education, how you always need to be growing. And that's how you're going to develop those skills. Develop your skills with your customers. Develop your skills for recruiting and with leading your team. We have to have this incubation process where the inside of us comes on the outside, where the ambition that we have inside, teamed with the skills that we're developing, we go through this butterfly process where we go in the cocoon, we're developing our skills, we're growing, we're blossoming in that cocoon, and then bam, there's the beautiful butterfly. We've honed our skills, and now here we are. What's on the inside has come out. I love the way that she put that. I thought it was really beautiful. Another best practice that I thought was really great that they talked about was creating a chicken list. Not just the people. Okay, let me backtrack. When we're talking about recruiting people, we tend to like to not talk to anybody about the business opportunity because we're scared. But when we do get brave and we do talk to somebody about the business opportunity, we tend to talk to maybe the people who are safe to talk to. People who we think, yeah, they might be interested, or yeah, they brought it up to me, so I was okay with talking to them about it. We need to develop a chicken list. Who are you afraid to talk to about the business? Who do you think would be really great at it, but you're scared to talk to them about it because they might have what seems like a super successful career? Develop your chicken list and get on it. Reach out to them because the people who are doing great at something else, could do great at what you're doing. The people just go after the best. Don't you want the best? So ask the best. Like, here's a perfect example. I was talking with Becca Levi, superstar director with Scentsy. She was at Mastermind this weekend, and we were talking about this concept. And she talked about one of her superstar directors, Jen Audette, and she was talking about how Jen on the outside seemed like, why would she ever want to join? She had a great career. Her husband had a great career, and why would she ever want to leave? You know, she was a dental hygienist full time, and it's a great career. So somebody seeing her on the outside would think she would never be interested. But she was successful in her career, and she did have a desire. She did have a desire to be around for raising her children and not have to work that full-time job every day of the week. And now look at Jen. She's an amazing superstar director who Orville said himself out of his own mouth, Maine would never be the same without Jen Audette. Now, if nobody had recruited Jen because she looked so successful on the outside, she looked like she would never want this business, Maine would never be the same, according to Orville. So think about that. That story is so powerful to prove that you have to go after successful people. So start your chicken list. Who are you afraid? Who are you chicken about talking to because you don't think they'd be interested, but you know they would just rock at it? And make those calls and be genuine and tell them that you're contacting them because you think they would be amazing at it because of X, Y, and Z. Just be genuine. Be real. So those are some of the best practices. Now, there was so many things, obviously, that they went over. Those are just some of the things that I thought you guys would get the most value from. And the last area that I want to talk about is holding steady. The quote that really stood out to me for this little category here is, your business is either growing or shrinking. It's never stagnant. A lot of people think, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to step back a little bit and just leave things as they are. That's not going to happen. You're either going to be growing or shrinking. There is no such thing as stagnant in this business. I thought that was an amazing quote. It's true. You're either growing or shrinking. You're not stagnant. So which one are you? Are you pursuing growth or are you shrinking? I loved that. So with everything we've talked about, so much of it has tied back into slow and steady wins the race. Don't get out of line in the cafeteria. Stay in line. Stay in the line and wait. It's not a race. It is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Anybody who was up on these stages, who's making millions and millions of dollars, they've all been selling for at least 4 or 7 years. I think the minimum I heard was like 4 years. It takes time. So hold steady. And this is another quote that I loved. And I'll probably end it with this one. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to end it with something else. Sorry. This quote was really great too. And this is by Wes. He said, big shots are not big shots. We get so, like I look at these people on the stage, oh, they're making millions. They're amazing. Oh, I wish I was doing that. And he talks about how we're not big shots. We're not big shots. We're no big deal. We're just little shots who just keep shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. Little shots who keep shooting. And I thought that was such an amazing way to put it. Because we think, oh, that big shot up there, they probably had one rock star that they signed up and then bam, they blew to the top of the compensation plan. Or, oh, it was easy for them because this probably happened or that probably happened. There is no shortcut. They all did the work. Anybody at the top of our compensation plan, they're there because they did the work. They're little shots who keep shooting. And guess what? They're still shooting. They're still shooting today. So the last thing I want to leave you with is, this was really powerful. The couple that I talked about earlier, they were so adorable. Husband and wife. And they have been trying to have a baby for quite some time. And they had 13 miscarriages. 13. Maybe some of you listening have been there. I can't imagine how hard that must have been on them. 13 miscarriages. Wow. I mean, just wow. When you've had that many failed attempts, when you've had that many failures, I can't imagine how hard it must be to believe that a breakthrough is around the corner. But it just takes one time. It took one time. It was actually after Mastermind conference last year. They had a romantic evening, they said, and their son Gabriel was conceived. She took that test, the pregnancy test, a couple days later, and it was a positive. But again, they'd had 13 positives prior to. And it was so hard for her to believe, but she did. She said, you know what? I know this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. This is it. The past evidence only showed that they were going to fail again. But her mindset was, no, we're going to succeed. We're going to succeed. Breakthrough's coming. Breakthrough's coming. And it did. Their 14th attempt, I'm sure they had more attempts than that, but their 14th pregnancy stuck. Now, the challenge is keeping that belief that when everything around you looks like you're going to lose, keeping the belief that you're not, that you can do it even when all the odds look bad. I've been there. Anybody, any superstar director, any star director will tell you they've been there too. There's always times when things look bleak. There's always times when you're struggling. But your breakthrough is coming if you just keep being persistent and consistent. I already knew this when I came to Mastermind, but even more so, I'm filled with confidence in knowing that patience is so important. And the people who lose, the people who don't succeed in this business are the people who are impatient, the people who give up. So that's one of my biggest takeaways that I had is I can't be so focused on the big picture and where I want to be and never appreciating and celebrating where I am now and as I'm growing and enjoying the journey, because I will get there. And when I get there, all of this past time, and you will get there. And all of this past time that it took to get there is going to seem like a blink of an eye. So I want to encourage you guys to focus on your small wins. Think short term and focus on short term goals to get you to your long term goal. And remember that even the people at the top, at the very top, they just keep shooting, just consistently keep working. And I mean, we're having so much fun while we're doing this. Like, I was at this conference for 12 hours on Friday, 12 hours on Saturday, and like 6 hours on Sunday. And I had fun the whole time. It flew by. I mean, this weekend, like, literally flew by in a blink of an eye. I had fun. I do my parties, I'm having fun. I do a training call with a new team member, I'm having fun. I'm doing this, I'm having fun. Like, the whole time I'm growing this, I'm having fun. So we have it so good. We just have it so good. Now, this training might have evoked some questions. If you have questions, feel free to post them on our team Facebook page. I would also love for y'all to share some aha moments, some things that maybe you heard that really spoke out to you. And I'm challenging everybody on our team to do this list of 25 that I talked about earlier. I still have to complete mine. But when I do complete mine, I will be sharing mine on the team page as well. It's a great way for us to be vulnerable and accountable with each other and share what we're all working on. So I challenge you, within the next 24 hours, get a piece of paper and make your 25 things that I am going to do after I become a $5,000 a month earner. And post it on the team Facebook page. I challenge you within 24 hours. There might be a prize in it for you. If I could wink really well, I'd do it, but not a very good winker. Oh, so thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found some great nuggets in here like I did. I was excited to share all of it with you. So thank you for watching. Stim, have a great night. Bye.